The Congo-Rwanda peace deal, what it really means for Africa's resource future. The recent peace deal signed between the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, and Rwanda marks a historic moment in Central Africa's turbulent geopolitical landscape. After years of hostilities, accusations of rebel support, and devastating civilian casualties, particularly in the mineral-rich eastern regions, this agreement holds the promise of not just easing tensions but transforming the future of Africa's most strategically vital corridor. But what does this deal really mean for Africa? At the heart of the Congo-Rwanda détente is a battle not just for peace, but for control over the continent's most coveted assets, its minerals. From cobalt to coltan, from gold to lithium, Africa is ground zero in the 21st century global resource race, with China, the West, and local players scrambling for control. Understanding the deeper consequences of this peace accord offers insight into the future of African sovereignty, economic justice, and geopolitical influence. A fragile peace with high stakes. For decades, the DRC's eastern region has been plagued by armed conflict, fueled by ethnic tensions and a fierce contest over access to Africa's mineral wealth. Rwanda, accused by Kinshasa and the United Nations of backing the M23 rebel group, has long denied involvement, claiming national security concerns from Congo-based Hutu militias. This cycle of conflict has displaced millions and allowed foreign mining interests to exploit the chaos. The New Deal, brokered with the support of the African Union and regional powers, includes a ceasefire, joint border monitoring, and a roadmap for militia disarmament. While the diplomatic language focuses on peace and regional cooperation, the subtext is clear: whoever controls peace, controls Africa's minerals. Africa's minerals, the new global gold rush. The DRC is home to over 70% of the world's cobalt, an essential element in electric vehicle batteries, smartphones, and renewable energy storage. It also holds vast reserves of copper, coltan, lithium, and gold resources that are now more valuable than ever in the race toward a green and digital future. Rwanda, though smaller, has emerged as a regional hub for mineral processing and export, often accused of smuggling resources from conflict zones in eastern Congo. The peace deal offers Rwanda a legitimate pathway to formal mining cooperation, logistics, and trade, raising critical questions about sovereignty, revenue distribution, and ethical sourcing. The competition for these resources is not limited to African states. China, which already controls nearly 60% of the DRC's industrial mining sector, is tightening its grip through infrastructure for resources deals, security contracts, and strategic partnerships. Meanwhile, the US and European nations are racing to establish clean supply chains, free from human rights violations and Chinese monopolies. China-Africa mining, strategic advantage or neocolonialism? China's influence in the Africa mining sector has exploded over the past 2 decades. In the DRC alone, Chinese companies operate dozens of large-scale mining concessions, with state-backed giants like China Molybdenum and Sycamines funneling billions into cobalt and copper extraction. While these deals have led to new roads, railways, and ports, critics argue that the economic benefits largely bypass local communities. The environmental destruction, poor labor conditions, and opaque contracts have led many to call China's strategy a form of resource imperialism. The Congo-Rwanda peace deal could become a tool for China to further entrench its interests. By backing political stability in the region, China gains a more secure operating environment for its investments. In turn, this could weaken efforts by Western countries to establish ethical alternatives and increase leverage over global clean energy transitions. Is Africa ready to reclaim its wealth? The real opportunity within the Congo-Rwanda peace agreement lies in Africa's ability to finally assert greater control over its resources. By reducing conflict, the region could develop homegrown frameworks for sustainable mining, transparent contracts, and equitable revenue sharing. The African Continental Free Trade Area, AfCFTA, also creates new potential for collaborative resource management, rather than fragmented exploitation. Regional peace could pave the way for joint ventures, cross-border infrastructure, and local value addition, moving Africa away from being merely a raw materials supplier to a global economic power in its own right. But this vision requires bold leadership, civic participation, and continental solidarity. Without strong governance and anti-corruption measures, the peace deal risks becoming a smokescreen for deeper foreign exploitation. What comes next? A call for global accountability. If the Congo-Rwanda peace deal is to become more than a diplomatic photo op, it must be tied to enforceable commitments on resource governance, transparency, and local development. African civil society groups and media must hold their governments and foreign investors accountable. Western nations must also move beyond rhetoric. Clean energy transitions and ESG commitments mean little if cobalt powering electric cars is mined under conditions of violence and child labor. The international community must support African-led solutions and prioritize ethical sourcing and investment. Conclusion: a crossroads for the continent. The Congo-Rwanda peace agreement is not just about two nations ending hostilities. It's a geopolitical milestone that will shape the future of Africa's minerals, determine the winners in the resource race, and test the continent's ability to stand up to external pressures, be they from China or the West. If handled with vision and integrity, this could mark the beginning of a new African era where peace fuels prosperity, and minerals power transformation instead of conflict. Call to action: stay informed. Demand transparency. Support African-led innovation. Subscribe to our newsletter for in-depth analysis on Africa's mining future, resource geopolitics, and the leaders reshaping the continent's destiny.